Welcome back, Carlos Correa. Welcome to Houston, Jesus Sanchez. Who else is coming? Are the Astros also going to grab Dylan Cease? They may do it while we're live on air. Let's talk about this trade line edition of Locked On Astros.
Yainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. Thank you for making us your first listen, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and check us out. And Brett, trade deadline. This is one of the best days of the season. This is where the guys go out there. Dana Brown just does what it takes to get the job done. Brett, I know we got Ramon Urias last night, and I know you talked about it a little bit on the podcast, but I don't think anybody expected the bombshell that happened today. I know we kind of suspected, but that Dana Brown actually pulled through with it.
Well, I don't think it was necessarily Dana Brown pulling through as much as it was the Minnesota Twins apparently adhering to the Astros demands. Now, we haven't heard all the exact demands of what the Astros put in the deal. But I do know that the Twins will be paying a significant portion of the Carlos Correa trade. So I just got that across. The Carlos Correa thing I heard at 11:22 on Friday last week, that the Astros were interested in bringing him back. And my first question was, how are we going to make that happen? That makes no sense. And so as I stayed in contact with my source, they were look, yesterday they were like, it's pretty much, it's not a done deal, but they are determined to get it done. And the Twins were backed on a corner. They're $400 plus million in debt. They're trying to shed assets. They don't really have a whole lot of wiggle room or anything to play with there. So really the ball was in the Astros court. A lot of people were freaking out about this deal because they're like, what about his injuries? What about the money and all that stuff? But I thought yesterday was dead. But then I heard late last night about 1 a.m. that it was an 80-20 deal. And then I heard this morning before I had gotten all the news stuff and I wasn't watching. I was on my phone and I reached back out and he said, check your feed. And I saw, and then you sent me the text and everything came back and all the memories of 17 and 22 and just Carlos Correa being here became something that I was like, you know what? I want to win this championship with Carlos Correa again.
Hey, we have a Bob Nightingale bombshell here. He said that there's only one prospect going to the Twins in the Carlos Correa deal, with the Minnesota Twins paying a significant portion of the remaining $102 million in Carlos Correa's contract. So this is contrary to what another insider said. So Dana Brown won. This is a situation where Dana Brown was patient. He didn't give in. And once the Twins started dealing all their players, Dana Brown was patient. He's like, well, we need Correa, but at the same time, we got other options. And the best thing that he did is he went out and got Urías yesterday. And also, Carlos Correa said in an interview, I was only going to waive my no trade clause to go to Houston. No other team. So the Astros, Carlos Correa backed the Twins against the wall. So there was no other option. So they had to get the deal done. One prospect is going to the Twins, as according to Bob Nightingale. We don't know the exact details yet. I'm sure we're going to know about more of that later on. Carlos Correa is not having a great season overall, but we know how he does with the Houston Astros when he's playing aside his buddy. So maybe this is a good deal. Overall, he's got a 0.1 WAR on the season. He's batting .267 with 7 home runs. He's got 31 RBIs. no stolen bases. He has an OPS plus of 92. So he's not having a great season, Brett, but overall, since he's left the Astros, his high for a year in home runs was 2022 with 22 home runs. Then next year, 18 home runs. Last year, 14 home runs. But he hasn't been the same player with the Twins that he was with the Astros.
No, yeah, definitely. But Brian McTaggart, like right before we came on, got a quote from Correa, and he said it is going to be electric. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to get started with the guys again. Look, this is a guy that injects himself back into the lineup, back into the fold of the clubhouse culture that he grew up in. Number 1 overall pick. And I'm sorry, but Brendan Rodgers is not going to keep that number 1 jersey. I know he's on the IL or he is in a rehab stint or whatever's going on with him and his concussion stuff. But Correa will get that number 1 number back unless he wants to turn over a new leaf, unless he wants to become a different guy out there. But your number 1 son, your first overall draft pick, they got him back. And they got him back on a deal that I think, like you said, works for the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
You're not giving up much. Dana Brown has fleeced this league. There's some phrases I want to use on this show and I can't, but the Astros are about to go, some stuff up this year. And they're serious. And I am hearing, Michael Schwab said that the Cease deal is on the 1 yard line. I just got word just now that the Cease deal is on the finish line. They just have to cross it. So we'll see. Again, these things change in a moment's notice. Again, I'll go back to Bregman. He was clearly going to Detroit, and 5 minutes before he signed, boom, he was in Boston. The fact that Correa's back, Eric, is huge. Is this trade deadline the biggest trade deadline in Astros history? Because if they get Dylan Cease, I would say it is.
Yeah, I think this would be one of them. I know the Justin Verlander one. I know that was a little bit different situation the first time around, but I think what the Astros are doing now is they're recognizing, hey, with all these injuries, with everything that we've dealt with, we've still have the 3rd best record in the American League. What if we reinforce the lineup? What if we go out there and get a number 3 starter? And they are going in for it. And so I know Carlos Correa is guaranteed under control for 3 more seasons after this one, but there is team options for 29 through 32 for 25, 20, 15, 10. So this could be a long-term relationship with Carlos Correa, and where he can actually possibly not necessarily retire. I guess he'll be 37, but he can stay a long time with the Houston Astros alongside his buddy Jose Altuve. And so I know next year he'll be making 32, then 31. It's a big chunk of the salary.
It is a big chunk, but I believe they're paying, like you said, a majority of it. That's what my contact said. That's what you just confirmed online. But here's the thing about 29, 30, 31, and 32. Those are all vesting options, Eric. Okay. So 25 million is what it gets vest if one of these things happen. Okay. 575 plate appearances, top 5 MVP. Silver Slugger, LCS MVP, World Series MVP. And then it goes on. And then it gets less. 550 plate appearances in 2030, the same other awards. 525 plate appearances in 2030 for the 31 to vest. For the 32 option to vest, 502 plate appearances. So there are vesting options. There are things that Correa has to reach and do, statistically speaking, in order for him to stay here in those contract years. Just like when Justin Verlander was here, he had the innings, things like that. So if he reaches those things, it's up to him. He can grab it. So
right. Yeah, guys, we're going to go and continue this conversation. Carlos Correa is coming back home. Who else is joining Houston Astros? Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. Hey guys, go and check out this awesome hat. Have you seen this? It has no logos on it. It's nice and sweet. It's nice and clean. You can go out to the golf course and just it's just simple. It's something that's just slick. So no logo. It has team inspired, whether you like to root for the Mets, the Yankees. So I was just in New York. I saw a lot of those colors. Whatever fan base you like to root for, go and check us out. It's all about letting your colors speak for you, not giant logos, just smart, versatile styles that work on game days, on the course, or anywhere in between. I actually got the chance to award around New York. I don't think people really got that it was Astros colors, but in my heart, I got to understand that it was Astros colors. So it's not just hats. Go and check out the split shade gloves. They have the Astros orange gloves, and it's meant for the golf course. So you can kind of coordinate out there, have the proper drip, so to speak. So right now you can get 15% off with the code MLB15 at GameDayHue.com. That's GameDayHue.com. The codes even stacks on top of bundle deals. So now is the time to load up. Let your colors talk, because colors speak louder than words. That's GameDayHue.com, MLB, with the code MLB15. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us a first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. So, Brett, it wasn't just Carlos Correa. I think with the addition of Ramon Urias and then Carlos Correa, you had shored up the the infield. But one of the biggest thing that Dana Brown has been harping on for the past week or so is a left-handed hitter. And this was a big thing on his wish list, because without Alvarez in the lineup, you don't really have anybody to do that. So make sure you take yourself off mute and go ahead and tell us a little bit about who the Astros traded for today.
Yeah, so we got, before I do that, listening from Sydney, Australia on a train, Michael Haggerty. Mr. Haggerty, welcome in.
Good day,
we
mate.
love our fans. Yeah, good day, mate. He's probably actually from Texas, but anyways, he might be Australian, and we love that. We love that. We love that about our fans. But Jesus Sanchez, this is a guy that they were talking about. We know that they were in on other players that they wanted, other bats. They were talking to Steven, or they were trying to get Steven Kwan, but Jesus Sanchez comes in here. He's an outfielder for the Marlins. In 6 seasons, 532 games, 69 home runs, 226 RBI. And he actually, get this, ended his Marlins career with the long ball in his final game at home. So he had home run on his way out. So that's what we like to see. We need more long balls. And getting Jesus Sanchez for the return that we were able to get them on, I think Dana Brown is doing a phenomenal deal here. I mean, we have the 3 players that were sent to the Marlins from the Astros in Ryan Gusto, Chase Jaworski, and Ismael Valencia. So Jaworski, some upside there. Ismael, don't know much about Valencia. I know he's a solid player. Ryan Gusto, we saw have one of his better starts recently. Ryan Gusto is going to get some run in the major leagues, but you get Jesus Sanchez in here, and I think this bat right here is a guy that helps you out. That helps you out immediately. He is an excitable player. He is someone, he is your left fielder now. And get this, he's got 2 years of control, Eric. He is a Boris client, but right. He's got 2 years of control, and he's only 27 years old. So you get this guy for the next 2 years. Can you imagine Jesus Sanchez and Yordan Alvarez platooning out there in left field? This means probably, what do you do with Jose Altuve? Put him back at second base, I assume. But then again, you got Correa and you've got Urías now. So what you have is you have a plethora of talent on this team. You extend the lineup, and it simply looks great. And look, I think this ranks up there. I know the Randy Johnson trade was huge. I know the Justin Verlander trade was huge. But the reason why I rank this one up there with the others is because of the amount of players, Eric. not just one. But who would have thought that they were going to address every one of their needs? Well, when they get Dylan Cease, they'll do that. Hopefully the Dylan Cease thing comes through, because if they get that, look, he's a rental. You don't have to keep him around, but he could have one of those turnaround seasons like Yusei Kikuchi had in Houston. Right. So if they do that, Eric, oh my gosh, you're talking about addressing all the needs that you were looking for. Wow.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about Cease in a little bit, but I do want to focus a little bit more on Jesus Sanchez, because he is not a free agent until 2027. Right. So you have somebody that is under team control for another two seasons. Right. So he is cheap. He's also got a 104 OPS. He plays some pretty good defense out there. He's got 10 home runs. He's got the 9 stolen bases. So this is a guy that can be instant impact for you. Even like you said, when that pushes Altuve back to second base, or you could put Urías at second base. You have options now where you did not have options. So as of right now, we have no idea if this rumored Cease trade is going to happen, but definitely Bryce Matthews, as of right now, is still a Houston Astro. But the only player that was traded so far was Chase Jaworski. He was number 13 on the Astros top prospect list by MLB Pipeline. So that was a loss, but it's something that you can live with. I think that the guy that they traded yesterday, I think it was Twine Parker or Twine something. He was traded, but for Urías. But we don't know what the exact prospect was for Correa yet. But we know that Dana Brown is checking off all the lists. He probably had this little check sheet. This is exactly what we need. And I like what he was saying. Impact. And that's what he wanted. And Carlos Correa may not be having the best season, but he's going to be a type of player that's going to have an impact. And the best thing that I don't think we've talked about yet is Carlos Correa's leadership. I think that maybe definitely in the infield, because Alex Bregman was that leader after Carlos Correa left, and then Carlos Correa was that leader before. I think Carlos Correa is going to turn things around for this team. And maybe if it's not with the bat, maybe even if he's not the slugger that he was with the Astros, I think you're going to see a different mindset with this team offensively.
Oh, look, exactly like I threw that up there earlier. If you want to know how exciting or how excited this fan base is, just look no further than Locked On Astros. 612 people watching us live. We got people from Montreal. We got people from Chile that are from Venezuela. And yes, the gentleman that I called out earlier, he is Australian and he's an Astros fan. So I know we have Astros fans in Australia. I know we have them in New Zealand. We have them in Puerto Rico. We have them in the Dominican, Venezuela, Mexico, Canada. I mean, from all over the globe. I mean, what more can you ask for on this day? Look, and I just have to say this. I have to send a shout out to my guys over at Wheelhouse Media Company, Eric. We had our grand opening today in Pearland. And on the same day we opened the doors at Wheelhouse Media, Carlos Correa, Houston's son, comes back. Look, Corbin's excited about it. But, Eric, what I love about this Correa thing is the thing that my fan brain automatically goes to is, like you talked about, and like we've talked about, like, there have been things that have been missing in this clubhouse. Now, I know the automatic counterpoint, logically speaking, is, well, but you're only 2 games behind the top 2 teams in the AL. So why do we have to go out and go get this? Well, it's because they feel like apparently somebody somewhere said there's something missing here. There's something that doesn't quite jive with this team getting back to that championship caliber team. And if you go back to the beginning and you go back to Correa, let me remind y'all the first playoff game that he won, New York Yankees Stadium. The Yankee Stadium, when they played the Yankees and they won that wild card, that 1-game wild card. And Carlos Correa was asked, were you nervous coming into New York, playing the Yankees for your first ever playoff game? He said, nervous. I've been waiting on this moment since I was 6 years old.
Right.
That's the kind of guy he is. Go to the 2017 World Series. Go to the 2020 ALCS where Carlos Correa almost single-handedly willed this team beyond the Rays. And you have a guy that when he left, the impact was felt in the fan base. Then he goes off, he deals with injury. What do people say? Oh, he's oft injured. Good thing we got rid of him. Damaged goods. Yeah, he's had some injuries here or there, but he comes back, Eric. And the burden is not just shouldered by him, but it is shared by everybody. And he knows how things work in this clubhouse.
Yeah, so there's actually some other moves, some minor moves after yesterday's game to get Urías on the roster, and we'll go and talk about that. We'll talk about what happened with Isaac Paredes today, and we'll talk about more of the rumored deal that could possibly happen. And the Rangers just traded for a pitcher that could help the Astros get their pitcher. So we'll go and talk about this next on the Locked On Astros podcast. Monarch.
Everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. This breaking show we're on in, but I want to tell you about Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year. Look, are you tired of going to your bank account and wondering where all the money's going, or what subscriptions you're tied to, or, you know, what's going on with the savings account? Well, Monarch Money is like your personal financial CFO. It helps you organize, and it helps you not just save money, but you can obtain wealth. Why? Because you're managing your money properly. Monarch Money has this great deal right now for Locked On Astros listeners. You use the code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year. You don't have to worry about shared accounts. If you and your partner have shared accounts, or you have your own bank accounts, you can guide yourself through those to go from owing a lot to owing nothing to getting into financial freedom. So do that today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. If you're like me and you're just watching MLB Network, the trade coverage, the Rangers have just acquired Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks, so this is a big move for them. So I'm not saying the Astros have to counter that move, but this also, the Rangers were trying to make a last-minute effort to go get Dylan Cease. So this could be, now that team is moving away from go and get Dylan Cease, maybe that gives the Astros more of a chance to go get Dylan Cease. I know earlier several people said that it kind of like Mark Feinsand said that the Astros are pushing hard to acquire Dylan Cease from the Padres. Per sources, Cease was Houston's top target as of Wednesday night. And after trading for Correa and Jesus Sanchez, that is still the case. And this was with roughly 45 minutes left to get the deal done. So far, Brett, they have not traded Jacob Melton that we know of. They have not traded Bryce Matthews that we know of, Walter Yannick, and Yola. So can they get Cease without trading any of those guys?
Probably not. I mean, he's Dylan Cease. I know he's a rental, but now they did make a trade earlier. They did get better today. You know, they got Mason Miller and JP Sears from the Athletics, and so they also traded away like their top prospects. Maybe they're looking. I mean, and I'm not saying I want to trade Dubon, but does Dubon have trade value? Is he someone, since they've got all these bats, since they've got well, they've got the infield version. Okay, they've got the infield version, so I guess Dubon would take the outfield. Who are they going to put in a deal? Who has value? What are their needs? What is it worth? Sandy Alcantara, I know they were talking to him. I think the Yankees are charging hard after him. I have not seen any movement, at least from my source, about Sandy Alcantara. I have heard about Dylan Cease. And we keep hearing it's at the finish line, it's at the 1 yard line. But Eric, everybody's tooling up. The Rangers, the Mariners, the Astros.
I think even the Angels made a trade.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And now the Angels even have like a bunch of fans in right field that are dressing like angels in the outfield.
Oh,
and now they have, hey, I'm surprised it's taken them this long, Eric. I'm surprised it's taken them this long to create something like this. But they've been playing better since these people started dressing like angels. Hey, man, I welcome it. But look, we're right under 30 minutes left. And I wonder if while we're live on air, if they are going to make the deal for Dylan Cease. Do you see something?
I think somebody just put in chat. Yes. According to several people, the Cubs, Jeff Passan, the Cubs just got Willie Castro from the Twins. So the Twins are just selling everybody. If you've got a pulse, the Twins are just selling right now.
Well,
they're trying to get
debt, they got to get rid of money that they owe because they don't have any money.
Yeah,
and let me say this. Sorry. I mentioned Dubon just because I was just trying to think of who they would trade. Dubon is an outfield utility. So I kind of misspoke. I'm just sitting here going through my mind on the roster, like who would they get? And I just don't know. There's some guys I can think of that I don't think have much value. So
just imagine, before we go too deep into this conversation, just imagine this. You have Smith in right field. You have Jake Myers when he comes back in center field. Then you have Sanchez in left field. Then you have Walker playing first base, Altuve playing second base, Pena playing shortstop, and it has been confirmed that Correa will be playing third base. Then you have Correa playing third base, and then you have, of course, Yainer Diaz, and I would guess Victor Caratini will be playing. Victor Caratini will be kind of splitting some time with him. I think he'll be the guy that's going to lose a lot of playing time with all these acquisitions, and then hopefully Yordan Alvarez will be coming back at some point. But can you imagine that lineup? That's going to be a very imposing lineup once everybody's healthy in here.
I like it. Someone said, go get Royce too while the fire sale is burning.
No, he can't stay healthy. We need players that can actually stay healthy.
Well, I know, but we say that with Carlos Correa. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the vibes I think are immaculate in Houston, where this trade deadline, I think, is going to go down again if they get Dylan Cease as the biggest trade deadline in Astros history. And all this time, I look, I don't keep receipts, okay? And I'm not saying you have to confess your sins here, but are all of you people, I'm sorry, that are in this crowd that you hate Dana, you think Dana Brown is a terrible GM and he's doing nothing. And what was it last week? Brown, I saw in our chat, and I think maybe they were like a first timer, said Brown and Espada need to be fired. I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen it on TikTok, everywhere. Social media is a mess with all these negative Nancys. And I don't know. Now, again, Mr. Corona, he asked me bigger than Randy Johnson. What I'm saying is bigger than Randy Johnson if we get Dylan Cease because you get 3 bats and a starting pitcher. Yes, that's bigger than one player. Now, it's also bigger than one player if the Astros make these moves and end up winning the World Series. Unfortunately, the Astros ran into the Padres that year and squashed their hopes. Do you think if the Astros would have won the World Series that Randy Johnson would have signed here? I don't know that the Astros would have signed him, but do you think he would have possibly returned had they won the World Series?
I don't know. I just know that year was Kevin Brown, and that he ruined any.
That dude was unstoppable. He was a beast.
But Joe Ryan is the next that's going to be traded from the Twins. So the Twins are definitely in sell mode right now. But I did see that Chandler Rome said that let me use his words. The Astros are scouring the relief market while still engaged with the San Diego Padres about Dylan Cease. Sources tell The Athletic. What?
No, I'm just laughing. That's just funny. Like, he's just like, Dana Brown is like, while he's working on this master plan, he's also scouring for like other people.
Think of Moneyball. You remember when the guy is calling every GM? He's like, give me this guy on the phone.
Give me Shapiro. Give me Mark Shapiro. You're like, hey, you want him? It's okay. He's already gone. We traded him. Yeah, that no lie, man. It's just something wild. It's almost like It's almost like here, look, here is this is imaginary. This is not a quote from anybody, but this is imagine Dana Brown talking to the Twins. 2 hours ago, your franchise is $425 million in debt, and the team is for sale. You shipped everyone else off. You have no leverage. Take $50 million of Correa's contract and send him over. Dana has probably not slept in a few days. And the way all this stuff's coming down, it literally has been an avalanche today of news.
And Chanarum also said that it was a salary dump, a pure salary dump, and the prospect was described to me as a minimal prospect. So it wasn't a top prospect.
A minimal prospect for Correa?
Yeah.
Wow.
So not only are the Twins paying a majority of the contract, but you only traded a minimal prospect. You traded a Brett Chancey to get Carlos Correa to come back.
What? Wow, dude.
Just kidding.
Man. Shade from the co-host.
But this is crazy that what Dana Brown is doing. And I don't think he's going to get Dylan Cease for minimal prospects because the Padres don't have to.
No. You're not going to. I mean, the Padres early on, they wanted a major league ready catcher.
Right.
Did they get a catcher yet?
No.
Okay. So
no.
There's so
I don't know if
top prospects, but Eric, hold on. I'm a little surprised because this is trade deadline talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little surprised they got rid of Mason Miller. I mean, the Athletics are going to be a good team in a couple years. I don't know why you get rid of your.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
I know that's what they do, but it doesn't make sense to me why you would get rid of him.
They did get a catcher, by the way, Brett. I don't remember the exact catcher's name, but they did trade for a catcher.
Okay, so Yiner would not be in the deal then. Okay.
Well, they could still ask for Yiner Diaz, and Dana Brown could say yes, could say no. It just depends. I just don't see the Astros getting out of this deal without giving up Melton, Bryce Matthews, or Walter Yannick at this point, and without maybe giving up another piece to the Astros puzzle right now. But I know a lot of people are saying, well, Cease is having a bad season. But like we said, Kikuchi last year, he came over. He was a shell of himself, and the Astros fixed him. They have these analytics. They have the guys that can fix him, and so they can figure out what's going on with Dylan Cease and turn his season around. And remember the impact that Kikuchi had? Maybe he should have started in one of the first two games.
I've always said that. I've still saying that to this day. He should have started game 2. Yes, I am. Well, I used to have a good arm. I wasn't the hardest of throwers, but hey, I had a good arm behind the plate. I was actually a darn good catcher. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah. So this is just a really interesting trade line. There are a lot of things happening. Like as we got going, I don't have the ability to have MLB Network up right now while I'm here. Like
Brett,
I said,
real quick. So the Orioles got 6 players from San Diego in the trade for Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Urias. So they're Tanner Smith, Brandon Butterworth, Tyson Neighbors, Boston Bateman, Victor Figueroa, and Cobb Hightower. Of those prospects, I believe one of them was the 4th overall prospect. The other one was the 6th overall prospect. Then you got 12 and 29. So you've got, I don't know if I'm sure the Padres will be wanting to recoup some prospects after trading all the prospects. So I would say at this point, they got the players they need. So if the Astros are going after Dylan Cease, it's probably going to be for prospects, and it's going to be some of your top prospects. And so we'll see. We've got like about 19 minutes left. And guys, we will stay on here. We got almost 700 people watching live. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Is Dylan Cease coming to Houston? We'll find out in a little bit. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. So normally we only do 30-minute podcasts, but we went ahead and decided to do a little bit longer podcast today just to go ahead and take you to the trade deadline. But so guys, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. There's a little button down there that says subscribe. Please, if those 700 people that are watching us live subscribe to us, go ahead and help us get to 15,000 subscribers.
We're close.
If we could get there before the end of the show, that would be great. And I'll even give away a bobblehead if we do. So,
oh wow,
go ahead.
Go ahead
and
bobbleheads live on air, man.
Yes. So we'll go ahead and do that if we get to 15,000 subscribers. How far away are we?
I am about to look right now because I see the 14.7. I think we're less than 250 away, but let me double check the official number, the official number.
Okay, so while you're doing that, Bryce Matthews is number 1, Jacob Melton is number 2, Yannick is number 3, Yola is number 4, Anderson Brito is number 5, Kevin Alvarez, who's only 17 years old, is number 6, Ryan Forsey is number 7, Joseph Sullivan is number 8. Bryce Mayer is number 9. Ethan Pecco is number 10. Ethan Pecco is a name that I've heard in possible trade discussion. So he might be on the move. I know that we've had him on the podcast and he's got a good arm. He's having a great season. This is a guy that you could possibly see being traded, but we don't know what the other teams are coveting. So we are about a little bit less than 300 away. So guys, go ahead and subscribe to us. We do a podcast after most games. So go and help us get to 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah, definitely. Look, yeah, Ethan Pecco, I would hate to see a kid like that go. I think he's got high upside. We actually interviewed him, if you recall that, right after he was selected by the Astros. We actually interviewed him the same day he was starting a game. He still did the interview. Right. And he had a great game. I think he struck out 7 or 8 batters that night.
Ooh.
So what?
Ooh. You ready for this? According to Mark Feinsand, the Astros aren't done as they still hope to add a reliever. Rays closer Pete Fairbanks is among the relievers they are looking at. One source said Houston is turning every stone right now. Just imagine Dana Brown just turning every stone, calling every person right now, every GM, but that's crazy. Fairbanks coming to Houston with that arm angle, I think that'll be great. It'll be I think what the Astros have is they have a good bullpen, but if you change that different arm angle, that different delivery, I think that would make it even better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, they really want to fix the things they think that need fixing, and the Astros clearly wouldn't be doing all this stuff if they didn't have the injuries they had. I mean, Eric, it's quite possible to wonder how many games this team would win or would have won at this point had everybody stayed healthy, Eric.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of scary how good this team has been. Despite, and again, they still have an alarming number of games where they've scored 3 runs or less. So they've got to have that production. They've had so many guys on the injury. I mean, 7 starting pitchers. You have a full rotation. And remember what last week, one of our shows was comparing the 2 lineups, the IL lineup versus the lineup that's in the game. That is complete insanity that you would have that many guys hurting, that many guys on the IL and still doing what you're doing. And, I mean, the horrible news today, we haven't talked about this, torn hamstring for Isaac Paredes, 6 to 7 months out, done for the season. He's going to be here next year. Where's he going to play?
The hope is that he'll be ready for opening day. And so I know that's the reason why the Astros are a little bit hesitant to trade for Carlos Correa. Where does he play next year? Isaac Paredes could technically play second base, and so he'll have to work on that over the offseason. They could always put him at DH, but then that's going to take away spot for Alvarez. So that's a problem you're going to have to deal with during the offseason. I'm sure they'll figure it out. They're going to keep Jeremy Pena, But can you just imagine? Jeremy Pena came in to replace Carlos Correa. All that attention was on him. Hey, I'm not trying to be Carlos Correa. I'm trying to be Jeremy Pena. And now Jeremy Pena is a better player than Carlos Correa. And so now they're going to be on the same side of the infield. This is almost as weird as Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa playing on the same team. So this is a crazy situation. So I do want to talk a little bit more about Isaac Paredes. They do expect that he'll be ready for the opening day next year. But also, like you said, that puts that situation there. But Ramon Urias, this is something that I know you talked about yesterday. I haven't had a lot of time to talk about.
I haven't really talked much about him. So yeah, that's definitely someone we can cover because Eric, this is a Gold Glove guy. I mean, he's no slouch
Right.
with the glove. And definitely we need to sing this guy's praises. We can't let him get lost in the mix.
Yeah, so this is a guy that a lot of people probably haven't heard of him before this season, but he did win a Gold Glove in 2022. He did play a lot. He had a 3.8 WAR that season. He had 16 home runs, 51 RBIs. He had a 720 OPS that year. But this is a guy that can play second base, shortstop, third base. He is a above average third baseman. That was one of his positives. So he could play third base. And I believe this is the reason why the Astros were able to get Carlos Correa, because they weren't desperate. They said, oh, we got Urías. If you don't want to make a deal, we're fine. Just call us back when you're ready to make a deal. And so the fact that they had another option, and the Astros, it's not the first time they did that. They went out and got Paredes. That's why I brought up Paredes again. They went out and got Paredes with the whole Alex Bregman situation because they were like, we're good. If you want to go and sign somewhere else, then that's fine. We have our guy. And that's what Dana Brown has done recently. He goes for the big fish, but he doesn't wait around like I think we've seen in the past.
So here are the latest moves that have happened in the last 14 minutes, okay? Red Sox are acquiring right-hander Dustin May from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Padres are acquiring Nestor Cortez Jr. from the Brewers, which means they're planning on probably losing a pitcher. Mm-hmm. Sources confirm that the Royals are acquiring Bailey Falter from the Pirates. The Royals are acquiring left-hander Bailey Falter. Okay, that's the same one. Cole Drake and David Hageman, part of a package going from the Rangers to the Diamondbacks for Merrill Kelly. So that's the Merrill Kelly thing. And I thought it was funny. Chandler Rome just tweeted that he just said, our flights were just delayed. And he said, myself and Brian McTaggart have never been more happy to get a flight delay notice than today, because those guys are typing articles, responding to text messages, getting phone calls, doing all the things. And I love this. Everybody's talking about Joe Espada being manager of the year. I mean, Eric, how much more can this guy do to get considerations? I'm sorry, AJ Hinch, you can move aside. I think this is his award. And can you imagine if this guy not only goes for manager of the year, but also does it in a year that he could possibly win the World Series? Now, I think if Dylan Cease comes here, Eric, I think this is a World Series winning team.
Yes. So I think Sandy Alcantara, I don't know if you mentioned this, he is staying in with the Marlins. He's not going to be traded. So that option is out the window. So I'm sure all the focus is on Dylan Cease for the Houston Astros, any other team. So right now, what the Padres are doing is they are loading up on what they feel like they need. And then they're also having the side conversations with the Houston Astros, any other teams that are trying to get Cease and saying, hey, we don't have to trade this guy, but if we do trade this guy, what are you going to give us? And so they're holding out to the last minute. We've got 9 minutes left, so we're going to see what happens. But I'm pretty sure if there's a need, then they'll get the deal done. And I have a feeling it's going to be at the last minutes.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna go down to the wire. Another big trade that we didn't mention earlier was Willie Castro going to the Cubs from the Twins. Or did you mention that earlier, Willie
Yeah,
Castro?
I did.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's right, because you were talking about like everybody's leaving from the Twins.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had forgot.
Okay.
I'm sitting here trying to keep up with it. Also 6 seconds ago, the Yankees are acquiring shortstop Jose Caballero from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Wow.
So there you go. So the Yankees got somebody.
So a lot of people are asking where Urías is playing. He is going to be probably another utility guy.
Right.
I don't think DeBon is going anywhere. What they're doing is they're trying to get options because they don't want to go to the postseason shorthanded. So in case there's injuries, in case I know Jeremy Pena is supposed to come back, but in case he can't go, they have options down the road. So he is a good defender. He's somebody that could play second, shortstop, third base. And Carlos Correa, like you said, he is health. He has injury prone. He's an injury prone player as well. So what the Astros are doing is building that depth where they don't have to rely on the farm system like they have all season. And so Dana Brown is finally getting the job done.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's been getting the job done, though, Eric. I mean, he's been getting the job done when he got Cam Smith, when he brought in, when he traded somebody for Kyle Tucker. But it's
the Rangers just got Phil Maton.
Oh, Phil Maton. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, good job, Rangers. Nice try. Yeah. Someone said Rangers got Cease. Apparently, this guy Astro is trolling us, but then he gave us something good. So sorry, guys, we're not breaking your news. We're going to make sure that it's correct. And so 1 hour ago, Julia Morales tweeted out, how's everybody doing on the app?
So, guys, what I meant by finally is like I feel like they probably could have improved the depth over the offseason, and they could have brought in maybe another starting pitcher. They probably could have added another bat. I know they brought in Christian Walker, but they felt like this team has been short a little bit all season. Dana Brown has been great. I haven't said he hasn't done his job. I just said that this team has been playing with a lot of, I don't want to call them replacement players. Like this is back in, what was that, 1994, where you had the replacement players.
Well, but
you've been dealing with
had to, though. They've had to play with these.
I know, but if you added some more players in the off season, you wouldn't be in such a rush panic mode right now. But Dana Brown has done a great job in getting what he needs right now. But maybe if they would have got some more, I think maybe he was waiting too long for granted that Kyle Tucker trade was great. I think he did a great job there. I think he got some solid pieces. I think maybe he could have got another bat. Maybe he waited around too long for Alex Bregman, for him to make his decision. But the Astros, I don't think anybody would have saw all these injuries happen.
No. Some more moves. Tampa Bay Rays are acquiring Adrian Hauser from the White Sox. The Cubs are acquiring reliever Taylor Rogers from the Pirates. Mm-hmm. So those are two new ones, each from Jeff Passan and also from Ken Rosenthal. Ken Rosenthal needs to do what?
5 minutes left.
5 minutes left. Yeah, Ken Rosenthal needs to change his. I don't know what that guild thing is. Is that even? See, I can't even tell if this is the real Ken Rosenthal anymore because he doesn't have his picture on there.
Well, what I do is I do that where you can get instantly notified on their post, and so that's how I know it's the real person and not a fake.
Well, that's true. You know what? Maybe that's something I need to invest in, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. That's how I'm seeing all this. But this is a baseball lawyer. This is his projected lineup. He's saying Pena, Altuve, Alvarez, Correa, Sanchez, Walker, Diaz, Cam Smith, and Jake Myers when everybody's healthy. Just imagine that lineup. I don't think Cam Smith's going to be all the way down there, but I think Walker will be a little bit down there.
I'm just saying, I want to see I want to see not Yiner. I want to see Yordan Alvarez in an Astros uniform actually taking at bat before I put him in the lineup, in any projected lineup. Of course, dream lineup, I guess, would be right now, but it's just crazy. This team, the way it's gone, right? The way it has gone is they've been on an unbelievable run without Yordan Alvarez. You know, this team lost Bregman. They lost Tucker in the same year. So they lost Bregman, Tucker, and pretty much Alvarez. Been done. I mean, Alvarez hasn't done jack squat this year, right?
Right.
If I would have told you or anybody listening, the Astros will have the third best record in the American League with 18 injuries without those three players, I bet you 100% of y'all would say, there's no way. There's no way. What about the Rangers? What about the Mariners? Heck, at that point, you're like, what about the Angels? This team has not gotten off of their goal. And that is one thing I asked Ari Alexander the other day, and I mentioned on the show with you, I believe, is that he said this clubhouse, when he goes in, they all have their routines. They all work. They haven't gotten off. They haven't panicked. None of that. They have got it. We got 2 minutes left as we try to ride this out. Now, of course, things can come down the pike afterwards. They don't have to exactly happen right when the clock strikes 5.
Hey, Brett, I need to break Willard's heart here. The White Sox will not be trading Lewis Roberts. I'm sorry about that. But
he's been wanting Lewis Robert, right?
Yes, but the Astros, I know that the Mariners traded for Suarez yesterday, and that's going to make a dynamic duel of Suarez and Raleigh. But I got a question for you. If this is all the Astros have done, is that enough for them to go to the World Series in your minds?
Without Cease?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be accused of being a homer, but yes. I mean, they've done it without all these people to this point. They've got a winning record against first place teams. Why? No way. They're 14-2 versus first place teams. What do you mean? No way. They've only shown you proof that they can do it. You know,
well, playing against these teams in the playoffs is a whole different ball game.
It is a whole different thing, but they've still done it. I'm just saying, yes, they can. It's tougher. It's a lot easier if you can get Cease and turn them around, right?
Yes. So I'm not sure, is the deadline up or is my TV just behind?
It's 4:59 right now on my watch.
Yes, that's what I thought. So I don't know if my clock's just off there or what.
But it's like Michael said though.
It's
news can come in afterwards. So
yeah. So I'm refreshing just as you are. I'm waiting to see. So that's why I said it probably will be the last second. The Yankees are getting Camilo Doval from the Giants. So that's another bullpen piece. McTaggart said, where's that? McTaggart says you're going to have Correa, Bregman, and Altuve will all be on the same field tomorrow. What type of world are we living in? So no, he said, where's Yuli?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I'm thinking of is like, what type of world are we living in? So,
yeah. Where is Yuli? Hey,
so
where's Maldi?
Yeah. So my question is like, if this is what the Astros are going to do, so pitching wins in the playoffs, offense helps. You got to score runs to win, of course, but pitching wins because you got to have the good pitching. So if you have Valdez, you have Hunter Brown, Spencer Arrighetti comes back, and maybe you get something out of Christian Javier or Luis Garcia. You don't have Gusto anymore. You have, as of right now, you have Colton Gordon. So we don't know we don't know who the number 3 guy is. And so that's why I think Dylan Cease, if the Astros were to trade for him, is a big move. So the Nationals did not trade Mackenzie Gore, so he is still a National for now. So maybe that changes over the offseason. So my question is, do the Astros have enough pitching? They've shown all year they do, but it's a different ball game in the playoffs. They have upgraded their offense, so maybe they can score more runs, but they didn't really add anybody that has the dynamic home run ability like Suarez did with the Mariners. Granted, the Mariners ballpark, it doesn't really tailor itself for home runs, but that hasn't stopped them this year. So it's going to be an interesting situation. To the Mariners' credit, they have gone out, they have improved them, and the Rangers have gone out and improved the team because everybody has seen that there's blood in the water. The Astros are a good team, but they're not this juggernaut that they've been in the past, especially with all the injuries. So,
Eric, this day would be complete with only one thing and one thing only. This is going to complete the day. Thank you, Mr. Corona. Bring back Robel Garcia.
Oh, come on. Let it go.
Yeah, let's go, Robel Garcia.
Charlie Morton is going to the Tigers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, CFM has a reuniting with AJ Hinch. What is going on?
CFM is going to the Tigers.
So, Eric, here's the deal, man. It's a three horse race. The Rangers have been playing better. Dude, I mean, this freaking Rangers pitching lineup. So here's the deal. Bryce Matthews hasn't been traded yet, correct?
He was just traded?
No. I just got word that the Padres are sticking hard on wanting Bryce Matthews. They're sticking hard to it. They want Bryce Matthews. Well, they just gave up their number 3 prospect, a shortstop, or their number 1 overall prospect. So,
that would make sense.
Yeah. So
if they want their number 3 in the playoffs,
so it may be Matthews that if they don't want to get rid of Matthews, and that's the sticking point, that may be the end of the Padres dealing cease. So.
Yeah. So we're going to stay on here for a little bit longer. We'll go and do a podcast maybe a little bit later, or maybe this will be our show for today. But definitely this has been awesome. The Twins trade Griffin Jacks to the Rays. So the Rays are trading away and adding. I don't get what the Rays are doing. Like, this is crazy. The Rays are like this weird team that doesn't know which direction they're going. So we're just kind of waiting to see what's happening with Dylan Cease. We have not seen anything that says that Dylan Cease is staying with the Padres. I'm pretty sure that even in my head, before I heard what you said, the Astros are done, says Chandler Rome. The trade deadline all is Carlos Correa, Ramon Urias, and Jesus Sanchez. Talks with Dylan Cease were legitimate and at times picked up steam, but ultimately never got over the finish line. And it probably was what you were talking about. They wanted Bryce Matthews, and the Astros saw, like I talked about a couple of weeks ago, the marketing potential, just what this player could represent for the Astros. And
100%. Yeah. So, and confirmed.
So, yeah, they're done. The Astros have gotten their third baseman. They've gotten a super utility player, and they got a left-handed hitter. So is that enough to get it done in the playoffs? Nobody's really going to know. But right now, we know that Carlos Correa, he's not the same player he was when he came into the league, but maybe coming back to Houston, maybe just playing with his buddy, his leadership skills. Maybe this will be a shot in the arm to get this offense going. And I'm guarantee it's not going to hurt the pitching staff.
Look, I like what you said about Bryce Matthews, because it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. The Houston Astros also have Melton, and Eric, I heard an interesting. I heard an interview this morning. Tim Kirkjian was actually on the Sean Salisbury show this morning, and Kirkjian said what people are saying about Melton is that this kid's really, really good. Like his arm is unbelievable. We know he's got a good bat. So we haven't even scratched the surface with either Melton or Matthews. And we've seen what Matthews can do. I mean, Matthews can hit the long ball. He's been a great defender. Now, he's going to – it's funny. You can take those 3 words so wrong. The Astros are done. Good Lord. Yeah, get that on take a picture of that. And no, but seriously, Bryce Matthews, though, is the kid who fits just this great profile. A, he's a Houstonian. B, he's the first RBI baseball graduate to be drafted, not only drafted, but drafted in the first round. Not only drafted in the first round to make it to the major leagues. Now he's done things that, that not many rookies do. He hit 3 home runs in 2 of 3 games. I mean, yeah, Yainer Diaz survived. I'm glad about that as well, Chris. That is super, super cool. But yeah, you know what, Eric? I'm satisfied with what the Astros have done.
But Brett, we don't know who that prospect is that went to the Twins. But the fact that they haven't said who it is yet. I haven't seen it yet. But they haven't given up any of the main prospects. They gave up the 13th prospect. I don't know what the Twine guy, I know I talked about him earlier. I don't know where he ranked on the prospect ratings, but they did all these trades without they gave up Ryan Gusto, but I think he was more of a depth option. But Dana Brown did a great job, and they did this without giving up a big part of your future.
Exactly.
Dana Brown should get the GM of the year with what he did.
So here's a good point right here. The Astros didn't land a starter, but Eric Getty's back next week, and Javier could follow soon. So they've got guys coming back. I was actually talking to Dawson Iserlo. I'm sorry, James Mesh with ESPN Southwest Louisiana today, and he was saying, look, with these guys coming back, we've got enough to test the waters that we don't have to get a starter. But it would be good to get a starter. And my point was, I don't know how Javier and Garcia are going to do and all the injuries. You might as well go get a starter. I think it's insane that they were in on Cease. Now, the question is this. I know they're not going to – people assume they're not going to sign Framber Valdez. But if they don't, Dylan Cease is going to be a free agent next year. Is he someone that the Astros can look at with all the money coming off the books if they don't re-sign a Framber Valdez? So – they definitely showed interest in him. And so maybe there's a pathway for Cease to come here, fix some things, and be a good pitcher for the next 4 or 5 years. I don't know. A lot can happen. But Bryce Matthews, like Greg says, is a future Astros, a future star. Cam Smith, future star. I mean, we got Correa and Altuve back. I'm sorry. If you can't be happy about that, come on, man. What is going on, right?
Yeah, Dana Brown understood the assignment. He upgraded the offense. This is going to be a big shot in arm. This Astros team is going to be somebody's getting mad at me because I said they're not going to be a juggernaut. I think they're going to be a very, 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 very good team. I'm just I hope that everybody comes back healthy and they're able to pitch deep in game, and I hope they're able to limit some of the high scoring teams that are going to be in the playoffs. That's my only concern. And so getting somebody like Cease, fixing him would have been good. But what Dana Brown did is great. I think that he did exactly what this team needs. Pitching, the Astros have been fine. What they've struggled with all year is scoring. Recently, they've been having trouble with pitching. That's just because you can't continue to do miracles for too long. It caught up to them. Once you get this shot in the arm, all these guys come back. I think it's going to help the Astros become a better team. I think you're going to see this team go deep into playoffs, hopefully to the World Series. So
here's a couple things, because someone does want us to talk about Ramon Urias, who we just got, and I'm going to ask you, Eric, where do you think he plays? But also here is another aspect. The Astros hanging on to Bryce Matthews means that they believe he has a future here. Right now, Bryce Matthews, the infield is suddenly clogged. So what are you going to do with Bryce Matthews? Is he going to going to platoon, you got Jesus Sanchez. So now, are you blocking some development for Bryce Matthews and limiting that? And would you have allowed him to flourish in San Diego? So those are some, you're a math guy. Those are fuzzy math things. Those are advanced. Those are quadratic equations to me, right? I hate them. I can't stand them. You probably love them. I don't know. Maybe you don't love them, but
the Astros said that he wasn't quite ready. They had to bring him up early because of a need. So giving him some more time to develop.
Maybe they put him back down. Right. But so Ramon Urias, he's a third baseman. Where else can the Astros, can they plug him in at second?
He could be a super utility guy, kind of like Mauricio Dubon. I know that Pena is coming up and playing shortstop, but he can play a little bit of everywhere on the infield. He plays great defense. He's got some pop. He had a 2-home run game the other day. So that he is going to be somebody that's going to be valuable to this team, especially in the playoffs. Like Dana Brown didn't just get people to plug into the lineup, but he got players in case there's injuries. And Carlos Correa, he has not been the most healthy players. Like right now, he's dealing with migraine issues. And like the other day, he had to leave the game early because he felt lightheaded. So you can't always count on some of these guys to stay healthy. So some of these guys are depth options, and that's why you had to hold on to Bryce Matthews. That's why you had to hold on to a Jacob Melton. So before we leave, Shea Whitcomb was optioned down to AAA, and John Singleton was officially granted his release.
So I saw someone, and I think it's a guy called Astros Memes. He goes, the Astros acquire Spencer Arrighetti, Christian Javier, JP France, Jerry Pena, and Jake Myers and he put just names in there. He put Zach Short, Cooper Hummel, Jason Alexander, and Jacob Melton.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's essentially Colton Gordon. That's essentially what you do is you take your guys that have been up, that have been filling that role, and replace them with your major league guys. Look, I think it's going to be a fun series. I think this weekend, starting tomorrow night, the Red Sox, Astros are reuniting the forces of Correa and Altuve, and they get to see their old buddy Bregman. I mean, it's going to be a fun weekend.
By the way, the Twins traded 10 players off their active 26-man roster: Castro, Duran, Paddock, Correa, Colombe, Bader, Stewart, Jax, and Varland. So they basically overhauled the roster. So you're going to see a whole bunch of AAA players playing for the Twins. So, guys, I think that's all we got. I know some people on X are not giving the Correa trade. I guess it depends on what the prospect is that they sent away, but some people are not giving it a good ratings. But I think Correa will bring some good vibes back to Houston. I think that he'll maybe not become the same player he was when he initially played with the Astros, but I think that this is a good deal. I think that depending on how much the Astros actually had to pay. So we'll see. Maybe we can do another one a little bit later on. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast. We had about 920 people at one point watching this live. So guys, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. Go and make us your first listen. And we'll be back maybe a little bit later to go ahead and talk a little bit more about the specific details.
Yeah, definitely. Thank y'all. And as always, go Stros.